Hi, Cancer. This is your Scorpio Full Moon reading. Welcome. I was meditating a bit on the energy before I started this, and what came to mind was rainbow trout. So I went out for a bit of a kayak today, and I was, just floating around. I needed some time for myself, and what better place to tune out the world than on the water on a beautiful spring day that felt a little bit more like summer, right? So, and that's hence the ridiculous burn. um, did not put enough SPF on, but it's fine nonetheless. Rainbow trout came to mind. So someone was fishing off of one of the limestone rocks that I paddled by, and of somebody else that passed by in their boat. This was not a motorized area, so it was all paddlers. The person fishing told the paddlers, "You're my good luck charm. I got a rainbow trout," and then the fish got away. And inside, I was like, "Yes." I was so happy that the fish got away. But what came to mind was patience, good luck charms, and also remembering the flow of the water because trout spawn in 111 on the time. Trout spawn in rivers, so it's like the swimming upstream, right? Like that swimming upstream and remembering to swim with the current as opposed to against it. So there's something about patience, potential good luck charms, and swimming with the current. These are thoughts that came to mind while I was meditating on the energy for you today, from my kayak today, Cancer. In terms of the depths, I'm seeing some different themes that could come through for that. So we'll just see what the cards say and what Spirit's got to say about that. But I would like to invite the angels, my guardian angels, my spirit guides, protectors, teachers, and their healing energy to this space. And I ask that it is a safe and brave space that allows for the fullest expression of our light, humanity, ascension, and healing. Okay, let's do this, Cancer. Let's do this. Yeah, rainbow trout. It was just so funny. He's like, "You're my good luck charm." And then all you hear is this like other cussing because the fish got away. And like I've fished before and I find it so hard. Like worms, they determine that worms actually have some degree of sentience and are aware of when they're being hurt and harmed. So when I tried to put a worm on a fish hook, I actually started crying and I apologized to it and I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Like cuz I was putting a hook through, like I was threading the hook, like it was just so heartbreaking to me to have to do that. So I do not fish as much anymore. I just can't bring myself to do that to worms, let alone, I mean, if it was out of necessity, I could probably do it for eating, for fish for survival, but oh, I cannot do it. I can't do it for fun. No, nonetheless, Cancer. Devotion to the small. There's something thematic coming through right there. Yeah. I'm seeing something about worms and decomposition and just the different layers of soil as like a sedimentary release, a sedimentary collapse of maybe timelines into one place. Something about gardening. It is that time of year, but across the waters, a lot of interesting messages. This is also a mirroring. So we have 2 3s, so 23 and 32. So across the waters. Maybe a message about travel or distance, Cancer. But patience, though. I'm getting patience very strong. Ethereal touch. Whoa. Woman of light. I really want to read this across the waters. My initial read off of this is there's something that may feel like a depth that you're going into or through this full moon, but there's something that it's not so much deep as it is across. Like there's something that's like, instead of a depth, it's more of a linear, like a breadth. And I think it's like recognizing that will change the way that you go about it. Like if I was going to dive into the water today, it was freezing. It was 5 degrees Celsius. But it's like if I was going to dive into that water, I would use a different method than a kayak to get to my point of my goal, right? So it's like changing the method of the vessel because the goal is different than perhaps what we thought. So it's like instead of a depth, there's this breadth. And I feel like this is sort of like spirit meeting you there. This is spirit meeting you in that place. And I feel like this woman of light is really, that's like the angels also supporting. I'm hearing chorus, like angelic chorus. But it's this sort of devotion to the small, like patience, right? Like remembering that we need to move with the current, not against it. 555 on the time. We need to move with the current, not against it. Cancer. Yeah. Okay. So across the waters. You are being called across the waters as if crossing a bridge of light from one ocean to a far greater one. These waters are your emotional waters, holding your feelings, your attitudes, your expectations, and your fears and doubts, as well as your hopes and dreams. It can seem like such a lot to navigate. Sometimes our waters feel overcrowded, as if swarms of people were descending into the ocean on a sweltering hot day. Hardly finding a space in the water to cool ourselves, we can feel as though there's just no room for faith, trust, peace, and love. There's just too much happening in that water. We yearn for the cool, calm mountain lake, serene, giving, echoing a gentle dispensation of grace. You are being called across the waters, out from an overcrowded sea into the cool spaciousness of the endless lake. So it's time to let go of some mental clutter, some attitudes, some thoughts. Ask for help and bathe yourself in the green and gold rays of healing color. Just imagine them cascading down around you and through you like a waterfall. It's a bit like you're moving to a new neighborhood in a cleaner and more spacious town. It might be a bit unfamiliar at first, but soon enough you'll enjoy the difference. This oracle brings you a message. It's your time to think about something in a different light. Soon you will have a shift in perspective, and the feeling of overwhelm, stress, and just too much going on will be replaced with serene trust and peacefulness. Know that beneath even the most chaotic mind is a place of deep, quiet serenity within. Do whatever helps you dive deep to find it. Dance, take some rest, meditate, do yoga, write, paint, make love, make music. In that quiet serenity within, you'll be leaving unnecessary chaos behind, and you'll be presented with the gift of a new way forward. Wow. So this poem's, I'll read you the poem that's on the bottom here. But it's just that this like deep sensuality too, right? So inhaling the soft scent of promised taste, the nectar moist upon my lips, I savor each sip across my tongue, dwelling in the moment's pleasure. Warm and sweet, bathed in tingling thirst, I find myself wanting you, wanting more. Very, very interesting, Cancer. More messages of patience and trust. But see it differently. But this is, again, like there's something about a different vessel that's needed. Like there's a way that we need to change the approach to something we're doing, to not necessarily a goal, but it's like there's something about the little details. Could be some Virgo energy. I'm seeing the Hermit card. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Cancerians for this Scorpio full moon? What messages do you have for my Cancerians? 8 of Swords. The way through your beliefs is in the little details about them, is what I just heard. The way through your beliefs is in the little details about them. Oh, we have a little Knight of Cups here. Could be someone that's detail focused, like not in like a detail oriented label maker kind of way, but like someone like what comes to mind is the fact that like sometimes, some people do like big romantic gestures, but then other times there's like the big romantic gesture is detailed to the little things, and that the little things end up making up the big things. Yeah, like seeing the little things as making up the big things. Queen of Pentacles. feel like you're getting into a place of being able to have this heartfelt engagement with yourself. This is more you paying attention to the little things for you, Cancer. Devotion to the small. You have more patience for yourself. And I think it's helping you to feel less frustrated with where you are and just seeing that like you just need to change course into this new way of doing things to get things done, but also just to accomplish what you need to accomplish with more ease so that you're spending less time fighting that current. Fighting the current. Yeah. Like how much more energy would you have if you didn't have to devote so much time to, I'm hearing put out fires, but it's more so that swimming against the current. The sun, well, there'd be a whole lot more joy. That's for starters. That's Leo and 5th house energy. Yeah. I think that this is you getting into a place of being able to call in more joy. And maybe that's related to this directional shift here, this sort of perspective shift in terms of the way that we're going about things here. And maybe this ethereal touch card too is less about like a spiritual intervention and maybe more about like finding life more touching, finding things about life more engaging. You're engaging with life a little bit differently here, Cancer. There's something that shifts because it's almost like the light that you see is the light that you become, right? The light that you see is the light that you become through this process of just changing how you're doing things. And then it's like this woman of light card, this sort of awakened being, light being, angelic figure. It's sort of like the access point, or you become more in tune with the ones that you're in touch with. So I think that there's like this deep shift that's taking place, Cancer. There's like a shift from the depths, this like deep shift, but again, like it's really just going easier on yourself. Sometimes having patience with ourselves is about a process that's taking a while, but sometimes having patience with ourselves is understanding the ways that we would, beat our heads against a wall to get something done when all we have to do is open the door to go in, instead of like trying to, make a whole new door with our face. Forgive the metaphor, but still like that idea, there's an easier way to do something. And it's like a more passionate way. What's something that is going to connect you with that passion, Cancer? There's some kind of passion that this sort of unlocks, or it makes accessible to you, or it is the more passionate choice. It is the more passionate choice. There's something that's really going to fire you up about this, I think. Yeah, Saturn. So like, even if it's this like disciplined work that's going to take a while, it's like I'm getting that there's like a way that you're excited for it. You're excited for it because you realize that it's part of the process for you, and that it doesn't need to, like, just like difficulty doesn't mean that it's bad or anything like that. Like there's this energy of the world here in Saturn. It's like Saturn can still be passionate depending on where it is in your chart, right? Like Saturn can still have that aspect to it. So it's like, it's not about Saturn being difficult or hard. It's about finding joy and passion along the way. And I think that just changing your method ever so slightly, is going to make it so that you're not swimming upstream. And that, what a thing to release during a full moon, right, Cancer? What a thing to release. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Cancerians? Please and thank you. 10 of Cups, and then in comes love. That was like the worst note I could have hit on that, but still. 10 of Cups. Emotional fulfillment. Like this is just like the wish your heart makes right now, Cancer. The wish your heart makes. But maybe this is it. By not swimming upstream, you're like, oh, oh, right. And like you realize that what you've wanted is just there. Like it's not it, and it's not effort. Like it doesn't take the same amount of work. It doesn't take the same amount of work, Cancer. Tower, which I get the impression is not something that you're used to. Justice. Yeah, I feel like Spirit is I'm seeing butterflies here, which is beautiful. The little butterflies on that. I feel like this isn't something you're used to. Like, I don't think you're used to it being easy. So you look for the Saturn in things when maybe it's actually more like a Venus, when it's maybe actually more like a sensual Taurus, maybe more when it's like something else. So you're, this is surprising to you, I think. But Justice is here because it's sort of like you're, how do I word this? It's not just that you're like moving past a situation or making a decision about something, but this is you standing behind and by your decision. Like this to me is like an Ace of Swords with a little bit more of the universes or the spirits like sign off. Like there's a way that there's like a co-creation here. Co-creation. Interesting. It's like your inner critic might also try to take a few swipes at you, but I think that you have to balance this. I think that you really have to balance this. Yeah. Oh, Lovers on the bottom. And it's also communicating with yourself as gently as you would someone that you are being tender with. Like, don't, this inner critic idea is like, don't be so hard on yourself because it's just a directional change. We're just swimming downstream now because we understand that increases the odds of a project surviving, of ourselves thriving, all of these things, Cancer. Rainbow trout. Who knew? Ethereal touch. Ace of Pentacles. Magician. King of Swords. Devil. 9 of Wands. 6 of Wands. So, clarifying ethereal touch, we have Ace of Pentacles, Magician, and the King of Swords. It's like you become this directional, I feel like it's such a subtle shift, but it's like, bam, it's like you find this light within you and things start clicking. Like there's just this connection to spirit that maybe wasn't there before in the same way. Yes, it was there all the time. Like these things exist, but it's more so that it's now like you're seeing the tangible results of manifesting because you're clear about this, about whatever issue you're bringing here. But I think that there's also a way that your energy is more free now. Like your energy is just freed right up. Like we're not telling stories about how hard it needs to be in order to succeed or to know success. We're swimming downstream. That's like, I feel like the whole point of this message here right now is just to emphasize that for you, Cancer. So when you think about like the depths of things with this Scorpio full moon and, like what are we releasing? Resist the temptation to swim against the current when you think about what you need to release, and get connected with what you actually need to release as opposed to perhaps making more work for yourself. Spirit, can you please clarify this Woman of Light card? Queen of Wands. 5 of Wands. 7 of Pentacles. 4 of Wands. Hanged Man. Commitments. That's what the 4 of Wands means to me. But we also have the Queen of Wands, 5 of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles. I think it's really important for you to swim downstream right now because I feel like there's something that you have that you can contribute that very few other people have. They try to reach for, but you have it so much more easily. This is like upstream and against the current versus downstream and enjoy. And it feels like it's work, but it's not the same level or degree of work. It's just different. This is where it's inspired work. So it's following your inspiration, staying connected to your heart space, and understanding that it doesn't like, you don't have to be like when you stand in your power and you do things that make you feel the most alive, Cancer, it won't feel like work. It won't feel like you have to be the best because you don't, that's not your goal. The goal changes as the vessel changes, right? So, and then the Seven of Pentacles here tells me a lot about not just time put in, but this is also understanding that this is something that's worth your time to really get the hang of, to get the hang of it, of making it easy because you've invested heavily, but it's understanding that you don't need to carry it like a heavy weight, right? So something about that, Cancer. And I think what this ends up doing is inadvertently, it's like the effortless route is the one that brings in the most joy and commitment for you, the most solid foundation, right? This is like the one that brings in the most celebration, new contracts in terms of soul contracts with people, but also, jobs and projects. There's just this slight tweak. This is so funny to me. Like, it's like this slight tweak that's like very minimal effort on your part, but it connects you with some deeper part of you, this joy, this passion that's fundamental to your success right now, Cancer. So it's just thinking about what, and not thinking in terms of like, how can I make this easy? It's not about that. It's about something about inspiration, passion, and joy coming together and converging at the point of a perspective shift, some kind of, seeing things slightly differently. Instead of thinking I need to dive deep into this, it's more so I need to go wide with this. I need to go long with this. I need to go up or sideways with this. And then it's like that little shift in space, time, whatever. It just, I think something clicks, and then it's like this like contract commitment unlocks to you. And this is also Piscean energy, so Pisces and Neptune. Wow, this is all flying right out. This is so interesting to me, Cancer. There's like, you need to be like a fish. You need to be like Pisces. No, it's fine. I'm kidding. No, I feel though that there's something about your manifesting power is so high and activated right now. Yeah, it's so high and activated. So just so that you see what I see in this spread, there's Leo, Saturn, Mars, Libra. So Mars in the first house. So in terms of planets, oh my gosh, let me just start from the top. Leo in the fifth house. Then there's also Saturn, that is the 10th house, and Capricorn. Mars is here with the tower. That can also be Pluto energy. Justice, so Libra in the 7th house. The Lovers is Gemini and the 3rd house, and Mercury. The Magician is also Mercury energy. Devil is Capricorn, 10th house. And the Hanged Man is Pisces and Neptune. So I'm getting this thread of like joy, ease, but also this aspect of communication where your manifestations are concerned, because this could be related to more career-oriented things or things that you've done in the past, or things that you've done in the past that could be in a constellation of behaviors related to career. What does that even mean? I know it sounds very political, like, but like this is very when I think about career in this context, Cancer, what I'm seeing is more so that it's something that's going to overflow into your career. So it's going to be a way that you do things that shifts that, like, you're not swimming upstream in career either, because you see this behavior, you see this shift of perspective that you need to take, this devotion to the small, patience. There's something about patience here, patience with yourself too. I'm going to pull from the chakra deck here. Spirit, what messages do you have for Cancer, please? Self-expression. Self-expression, and that's on the, isn't that interesting? On the Across the Waters. Could be changing a way you express yourself. You need to change a way you express yourself, Cancer. Anyways, self-expression. The passion felt in me cannot help but be expressed as I use my voice to put my message, wisdom, and teaching out into the world. What I have to say is important, and I will say it. I now make myself heard as my heart and soul express through my body, eyes, and voice. I speak up. Maybe this is about communicating something fearlessly, but again, the patience aspect of it makes me think that there's a way that you need to be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself. Truth. It's safe for me to align with and express my higher truth, wisdom, and knowing. I allow others to hold a different perspective to me and know that there is enough space in the universe for all of our truths, including my own. I am honest with myself and hear the resonance of truth in my words. I express my truth. Some change in the way that you express yourself is what unlocks this truth. Like that's because it's like this flip, like this this aspect of you looking at the light and changing the way you approach it turns you into an element of the light. So it's like this truth, there's some kind of way that this truth activates the light within you. Or access to this truth activates the light within you. This is the Secret Language of Light deck by, I think it's Denise. No, Denise Jarvie. Focus. What do you want to manifest, Cancer? What do you want? I think it's a call to stay in touch with that too. And also knowing that focus is not just an energy that we apply to one thing or the other. It's also, it's a way of approaching things in terms of a slow, effortless way of looking at things. Like it's very present moment oriented. So it's not bringing all of this stuff with us. It's taking a step back to see the bigger picture here. And it's interesting that focus can do that. But, you know, as someone who understands the bends and twists and turns of focus, because I have ADHD, where it's like, because I have ADHD, it's like it can, sometimes there's like hyper focus, and then there's like, not focusing has not really been an issue for me, but this like, but focus can twist and turn like that, right? It can be hyper focus. It can be not focusing enough. It can be focusing on the wrong things. So it's almost like being present in the moment and staying in touch with yourself is going to help you focus not only on the right things, but it's also going to help you stay in a place of balanced focus as well. So that it's also in equal parts on yourself and the things around you. Cancer. Forgive. And that was on the devotion to the small here. I think that this mentality, this block, this sort of focus back on yourself has got to do with forgiveness and letting something go. It could be letting go of, the key to patience with ourselves is forgiveness, because we let go of the ways that we've held ourselves to this sometimes impossible standard. And that's sometimes what forgiveness is just this return to the knowing that we never needed that standard to begin with, and that it's safe for us to be ourselves. Spirit, what messages do you have for my Cancerians, please? By spreading loving energy, I attract more love. Yes, you do. It's almost like this magnetic pull. And the funny thing is that loving energy isn't just about doing specific things to people. Spreading loving energy is just being yourself. Being patient unlocks and gives other people permission to be patient with themselves. Being patient gives people permission to take their own energy more slowly, right? Like it's this beautiful exchange. Spirit, what messages do you have for Cancer, please? I don't dance around the perimeter of the person I want to be. I step in fully and completely. Hmm. I'm thinking about, I just heard, do fish know that they're swimming in a lake or in the water? And then I heard, does a droplet know that it's the ocean? A lot of water meditations coming out for this full moon, which is unsurprising because it's Scorpio. But nonetheless, that's kind of a call to remember that you are the ocean. You're not just like a little drop trying to know itself as the ocean. Hmm. Anyways, Cancer, I hope this was helpful. This is your reading. So calls for patience and also just, a little bit of a change in focus, a shift here that's just going to unlock way more than what you probably understand or realize. Lovers, the sun. So much good. So much good. So, Cancer, I appreciate your time here. Thank you so much for joining me. There are other ways you can connect with me on the channel, so feel free to check that out. But if this is where we part, I hope that wherever this finds you on the time space continuum, my loves, morning, afternoon, or night, it finds you very, very well. Take care, my darlings.